Hello everyone and welcome to our video series on Learn German Grammar. In this video, you will be learning the difference between three prepositions, nach, zu, and in. We'll be doing various situations where these prepositions are used, along with a few examples. In the end, there will be a small exercise. If you want to revise what you learned today, you can download a free worksheet from our page on patreon.com. So, let's begin. Nach, zu, oder in. While conversing in German, one generally gets confused which preposition to use. Hopefully, your doubts will be cleared in this lesson. Let's first look at a few examples. Im Sommer fahren wir nach Österreich. Gehst du zur Bank? Kann ich mitkommen? Heute Abend gehen wir ins Kino. There are a few rules that have to be followed when you are using these prepositions. Let's do the first one. Nach. Nach is a preposition with the dative case. Let's look at its first use. Nach is used with Land, Stadt, oder Kontinent. Countries with an article are not included in this category. Here's the first example. Im Urlaub sind wir nach London gefahren. Whenever you're talking about moving from one place to another, you always ask yourself, wohin? And since it's a city, you will use the preposition nach. Similarly, in the next one, fährst du am Wochenende nach Holland? Since Holland is a country and we are talking about wohin, you have to use the preposition nach. Same rule applies when you're talking about a continent. Wir fliegen nach Amerika. Wohin fliegen wir? Nach Amerika. Well, here's an exception. Ich gehe nach Hause. House is neither a continent or a country or a city. But in this case, when you ask wohin, the answer should be nach Hause. The preposition nach is also used with Richtungen. Let's look at a few examples. Ich fahre nach Osten. Whenever you're talking about a direction, don't forget to ask yourself, wohin? Here's another example. Kannst du den Schrank bitte nach links schieben? Wohin schieben? Nach links. So for all directions, you would use nach, nach Norden, nach Osten, nach Süden, nach Westen, nach rechts, nach links, nach oben, nach unten. Nach is also used when you're talking about Zeit. For example, der Unterricht beginnt 5:45. If you want to revise how to read time in German, you can watch our video on the same. The link is given below. Another use of this preposition is nach einer Aktivität. When one activity finishes. For example, nach der Arbeit gehe ich meistens in eine Kneipe. Another example could be nach dem Essen sehe ich fern. Don't forget to use the dative article after the preposition nach. If you want to revise dative article, you can watch our video on the same. The link can be found below in the description. The next preposition is in. Here's the first use. With Land oder Stadt. And here's the first example. Ich bin in London. In this case, we are talking about position and not movement. So you will ask wo. With a city, you will use the preposition in. Similarly, when it's a country. Ich bin in China. Here also, since you're talking of a position, wo, you would answer with in. In is also used with a few countries that take an article. Länder mit Artikel. For example, am Wochenende fahre ich in die Schweiz. Or, am Wochenende war ich in der Schweiz. In this case, whether you ask wohin or wo, for both the cases, you will use the preposition in. But do remember that with wohin, the preposition in will take the accusative article, whereas with wo, it will take a dative article. For example, with wohin, you will say in die Schweiz, in die Türkei, in den Iran, in die USA oder in die Philippinen. But with wo, you will say in der Schweiz, in der Türkei, im Iran, in den USA, in den Philippinen. This is only for countries that have an article. You would also use the preposition in when you have a Gebäude oder Raum or any structure that has 4 walls. For example, ich gehe ins Büro. And the next one, ich bin im Büro. Do remember, with wohin, you will use the accusative article. And with wo, where there is no movement, you will use the dative article. Now let's do an example with a room. Er geht in die Küche. He's moving from one place to the other. The next one. Sie ist in der Küche. She is not moving. Once again, do remember, whenever you're talking of movement, you would ask wohin. And whenever you're talking of position, you would ask wo. Let's look at 3 examples with 3 various articles. With wohin, for article die, you would say in die Küche. For der, you would say in den Arbeitsraum. For das, you would say ins Kino. With wo, you would say in der Küche, im Arbeitsraum, im Kino. If the concept of wo and wohin is confusing you, you can watch our videos on this topic. You will also learn other prepositions. The link is given below. In is also used with streets. Straße. Here's the first example. Ich fahre in die Goethestraße. Wir wohnen in der Schillerstraße. With wohin, you will use the accusative article, whereas with wo, you will use the dative article. This preposition is also used with Berge. Let's look at the examples. Gehst du in den Ferien in die Berge? Nein, wir waren schon in den Bergen. So whether you're talking about a movement or a position, you will use the preposition in, but with the correct article. Moving on to the next preposition, zu. Zu is also a dative preposition. It will change to zur when you're using it with a feminine noun, and it will change to zum when you're using it with a masculine or with a neutral noun. Zu is also used when you're talking about Gebäude. For example, ich gehe zum Supermarkt. Here also we are talking of movement, so we'll ask wohin. The next use of zu is with Platz. For example, am Wochenende gehen wir zum Vergnügungspark. Here also you would ask wohin. Well, with wohin, you generally use the accusative article. But since the preposition here is purely dative, you will use only the dative article. You will also use the preposition zu when you're talking about Personen. For example, ich gehe zu meiner Oma. Here also, since there's a movement, you will ask wohin, but you will use the dative article. Sometimes you don't need an article. For example, ich gehe zu Peter. Kommst du mit? Here also you're going from one point to another. In this case, to a person. So you will use the preposition zu. Here's another example. Ich bin krank. Ich muss zum Arzt. Or ich muss zum Arzt gehen. Here also you would ask wohin. You would also use zu when you're talking about a Veranstaltung. For example, ich gehe zu einer Party. Here also you would ask wohin. Let's see what to use with the three articles. Zur Party, zum Arzt, zum Restaurant. Here also we have an exception. Ich bin zu Hause. You have to just learn this by heart. And you would ask here, wo? There's another thing that you should remember. When you're using nach or zu with Haus, you say nach oder zu Hause. Let's move on to another use of zu, mit einer Aktivität. For example, wann hast du Zeit zum Lernen? Or another example could be, zum Schreiben brauche ich einen Kuli. Here the verb is being used as a noun. Lernen, schreiben oder kochen. If you're still confused between zu oder in, let's go through two examples to understand them better. Ich gehe ins Büro. Ich fahre zum Büro. In both these cases, there is a movement. When you're going inside a room or a building, you would use the preposition in. And when you're going just to the room or the building, then you would use the preposition zu. When you're talking about going inside a room or a building, you cannot use the verb fahren because you cannot drive into a building or a room. Hence, zu is the appropriate preposition. And if you are still confused when to use zu or when to use in, you can always go with the preposition zu. That's the safest. Just don't forget the correct use of the article. Now let's do an exercise to see how much you have understood. Übung. You have to fill in the blanks with nach, zu oder in. Don't forget to ask wo oder wohin and use the article accordingly. Here's the first one. Well, this is time, and the answer should be Es ist 7:15. This one was simple. Let's do the next one. Do remember that we are talking of the verb fahren. Hence, your answer should be Morgen fahre ich zum Institut. Here's the next one. And the answer is Ich habe Hunger. Ich gehe ins Restaurant und bestelle. Well, you could also use zum her, but you have to go inside a restaurant to place an order. Hence, ins is a more appropriate answer. Here's the next one. Do remember, Hause is an exception. It either takes nach or zu. You have to put up the correct question. Wohin oder wo? And your answer should be Am Wochenende war ich zu Hause. Now try to do the next one. Since Rome is a city, your answer should be: Am Sonntag fliegt sie nach Rom. Here's another one. Since Dennis is a person, your answer should be: Ich muss heute Abend zu Dennis. If you want to practice more, you can download a free worksheet from our page on patreon.com. The link is given below. Great! Hope you enjoyed this lesson. Danke! Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos. You can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever a new video is uploaded. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave them in the comment section below. Tschüss, auf Wiedersehen!